Hello, it's Angela Priven here from Do It Yourself Health, and today I'm talking about 4 things that not a lot of people talk about that can prevent your gut from healing, even if you're doing all the right things in terms of supplementation and diets and exercise. So the 4 things that I'm going to talk about are things that I personally have just experienced and seen in countless amounts of my clients. And it's based on the 3 qualities that I see in just about everyone that I ever talked to with IBS. And these 3 qualities are, they are hypersensitive, and I'm talking about nervous system. So hypersensitive nervous system, something that picks up, noise and sensation and light. And it's like the nervous system is just turned up much higher than a regular person. The second one is anxiety. So people with IBS tend to experience anxiety or be fearful and have issues with fear and anxiety, basically. And then the last one is perfectionism. So when you combine hypersensitivity, anxiety, and perfectionism, you get sort of this unhealthy recipe for gut issues, because those 3 sort of work together synergistically to affect the gut and gut health. And I'm going to talk about how when I talk about these mistakes. So the first mistake is under the category of anxiety. And I find that when people are on very restricted, limited diets to heal their gut issues, they begin to have a fear of food. So it's this fear of eating the wrong thing, the fear of if they eat the wrong thing, they're either going to, slow down their healing, mess up their healing, or they're going to be in pain. So every time they eat, it's fear, or they're afraid to try anything new, or even test out a food after reintroduction, after they've been on a diet and want to reintroduce something. There's a lot of anxiety there. And the issue with that is that when you are anxious, are about to eat and are anxious, you're in fight or flight mode, your digestion shuts down, and your gut is not calm. And your likelihood of reacting to that food is much higher than it would be if you're calm. I don't know if you've ever had the experience where sometimes you eat something and it's fine, and the next time you eat the same thing, it's not fine, and you wonder what that is. I have a theory that that has to do with just how calm you are. If your body is in a stressed out mode, and if your nervous system is on a high alert, then it's going to react to foods in that state that it wouldn't react to when you're calm, enjoying yourself, not anxious. So the fear of food, there's nothing to fear than the fear of food itself, to quote some famous quote. The idea is that working on not being afraid of what you eat before you eat it is going to make a huge difference in the quality of your digestion and how you react to that food. So there's several ways to do that. There's some deep breathing exercises that you can do, right before you eat. You can breathe deeply, calm the body down, do some affirmative thoughts about how this food is going to nourish you. Whatever it is that you need to do, if you just need to kind of dance around, or play with your dog, or whatever, watch a funny skit on YouTube, whatever you need to do to disarm that anxiety, that's very important to eat while calm, and not be afraid of eating the wrong food, or what's this going to do to me, or just I can't eat this and I can't eat that. That is one of the biggest mistakes that I see people make. And then the next mistake I see is, and this comes from the attitude of perfectionism, and that is something that comes out of that is impatience and sort of idealizing what the healing process will look like. None of us really understand how the body heals. The body heals in mysterious ways. It doesn't just get better every single day. It gets better, then it gets worse, then it gets really bad, and then something new happens. And this is how the body readjusts itself. It knows what it's doing. It just doesn't look exactly how we think it should look. So, or the pace at which it goes doesn't go fast enough. So this is another thing that I've seen is, personally experienced, and I've seen in other clients, is that we get this idea of what this healing process should look like, and how fast it should go. And if it doesn't go fast enough and it doesn't look right, then we get impatient and we give up and we just move on to something else. And meanwhile, it's been working perfectly, and we just interrupt that process because we have an idea of what healing should look like that does not match the reality of how our body actually heals. So this is when it's really helpful to work with someone, because they can help guide you on what is a detox reaction and what is being completely off track. And when you're just self-doctoring, it's really hard. You just are all over the place. You try this, you try this, you try that, and then you say, oh, well, nothing works, but you've never really given anything a full chance. So that's the second mistake. And then the third mistake, and this is the one that I'm the most guilty of, is hypervigilance. Hypervigilance is the process of sort of scanning your body and looking for what's wrong, and then that kind of kicks off the anxiety. This comes out of hypersensitivity. So people with a hypersensitive nervous system have more access to all the sensations in their body and what's going on with their body, and the chemical structure, just the chemicals in the body and the hormones of the body are shifting. We can feel that. Because we have access to that information, we take it, we're always scanning, especially when we're sort of traumatized by illness. We're always kind of scanning the body. Is everything okay? Is everything okay? And we're sort of scanning it with this fear that something could be wrong. So when we feel a sensation, we interpret that sensation as, oh my gosh, it's not going well, or this is not working. And again, this ties back to how the body heals is mysterious. Sometimes it gets worse before it gets better. So this hypervigilance is something that you scan the body, you feel something, and then it brings on anxiety. And then your perfectionism takes over and thinks, well, this is not how it's supposed to go. And this is the formula for how people get themselves into trouble when they're working on fixing their gut. I'll tell you, for example, the hypervigilance for me has been the biggest thing that I have personally had to work on. And I work on it. I have a team of support that helps me. I see a cognitive behavioral therapist. I see my Qigong teachers for energetic work. And, and then I have another counselor that I go to. So basically, I have been really working on looking at my mind and sort of monitoring the hypervigilance and not letting it put me into stress mode, because that's when I start feeling bad. When I start to worry about something not going according to plan or something not feeling right in my body, that's when I start things just start going downhill. It really affects my breathing, and your breathing patterns are really, really important in digestion. Again, something that people don't talk about, that if you're not breathing, if you're breathing really shallow breaths, your organs are not getting properly massaged, your diaphragm freezes, and you're not properly digesting, producing the enzymes that you need to, producing the stomach acid that you need to. So these three things, they're, again, born out of the qualities that I talk about, of sensitivity, perfectionism and anxiety, and this is how they manifest, and this is how they create a stress environment in our body that prevents us from healing. And honestly, it's really, really tough to heal when you're stressed, and sometimes just being stressed about what's going on with our body and our IBS, it's probably the most stressful thing, and ironically, it could be the thing that's preventing you from healing. The very last thing that I want to talk to you about is just this attitude, which, again, I've been guilty of all these things too. That's why I'm talking about it, because I've observed them in myself as well as others, that there's this attitude of quick fix, and there's got to be a supplement out there that'll work for the deficiency that I have, or it'll be the magic pill. And some people like to take pharmaceuticals, like to go to the doctor and take pharmaceuticals and think that they're looking for a fix that way. And people who are more natural, with more of a natural bent, take supplementation. And there's a time and a place for it, definitely, but I just want to say, in my experience, it's never just, the answer is never just a pill. It's never as easy as popping a pill. There's always some sort of lesson, some sort of invitation for change that comes from digestive issues, because digestive issues, again, they are a reaction to your lifestyle, to your diet, to the way you think, to the emotions you feel, to the way you breathe, to the way you move, to the relationships you have. It's so holistic. It really takes into account your whole life. Your digestive issues really are a reflection of your whole life. And there's something that is screaming for change, and your body has finally just had enough and is telling you, really, it's time to change. So the changes usually are tough, on the tougher part, and it takes time, because no one really likes change. But the idea is to not be so small-minded, to not think that there is some sort of quick, easy fix out there, because while the solution is totally possible, it's not going to necessarily be quick and easy. It might take some digging, it might take some work, it might take a little bit of discomfort to really figure out what pattern in my life is throwing me out of balance. And again, it could be anything. It could be diet, it could be self-care, it could be relationships, it could be repressing emotions. And that's the investigation that, you need to take in the healing process. So just being open to that, being open to the fact that it's something really bigger is really important. So anyway, that was a lot of words about this topic, which is really a big, huge topic, a bit complicated. And I just wanted to sort of introduce it to you, so you start thinking about it and reflecting in your own life about if you do any of those things. So anyway, I hope this was really helpful, and I will see you soon.